Hi, everyone. Welcome to our amazing women call. We have a wonderful guest speaker for y'all this month in January. I actually had the gift of meeting her at her last event, which she's going to tell you exactly what type of event and community that she has built. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm just going to give you a little clue. It's a lot of women empowering each other. I was accompanied by my sister-in-law, Stephanie, and one of our other teammates, Christina, at the event, and we absolutely love it. We're very excited to be attending her next event with some other teammates as well that have bought their tickets. So without any ado, this is Hannah, and she's going to definitely just walk y'all through your story, through her story and her passion. And I'm just so excited that she offered to share her story with us. This will be posted on our women's chat group and then on our broad women's page for everybody to listen into this amazing woman. All right, Hannah, take it over. Tell us who you are.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Hannah Zunker, and I am a resident in San Antonio, Texas, and I actually work full-time for an energy company here in town, and I have a technical background, so that's what I do during the day, but I have a really strong passion for being surrounded by women. I do work in a very male-dominated industry, so it's something that I try to seek outside of my workday. In my past, I was involved in a lot of women's organizations, and through navigating my career, I slowly fizzled out of a lot of them, and I just didn't have one around anymore. And in early 2018, I was seeking something new and something to kind of fulfill that void. And I happened to pick up a book called Pivot, and the book is by Jenny Blake. I strongly recommend it to anyone and everyone. And the book basically helps you navigate how to make a change in your life, no matter how big or small that change is. And one of the first exercises in the book was a value mapping exercise. And I went through this exercise where you write down all of your values, and then you cluster your values into categories. And then you look at those categories and you try to figure out, okay, what do I value most in life? And I looked at my categories, and I had a lot of familiar things like family and my faith and my travels and, things that I really care about. But then there was this other bubble that was sitting there, and it had words like female and community and leadership and feminine. And I just realized this is a bubble I do not have enough of right now. And how can I fulfill that void? And after a lot of soul searching and thinking about it, I decided I was just going to create the community of women that I wanted. So I came up with Florecer Femme. And Florecer means to flourish in Spanish, and femme is woman in French. And the whole purpose of Florecer Femme is to provide opportunities for women to flourish. So Florecer Femme is an online and an in-person community. So we offer a lot of really great advice and content and expertise through our online editorial. But I also host events, which is where I met these lovely ladies, was my launch party. And basically the launch party was just an event to bring women who are interested in this concept together and just let them get to know each other and connect. But I actually have an event coming up in February, and it's called Goals, and it's all about setting your goals for the new year. So having the most fabulous 2019 that you could possibly have. And we'll actually have 3 speakers. We'll have one talk about fitness and health, we'll have one talk about finances, and we'll have one talk about career. And it's just going to be a beautiful day. We're going to set our goals for 2019, establish accountability partners. It's in a beautiful space. We'll have great food, a mocktail bar, because we're going to avoid additional calories by doing mocktails. And we'll have a professional headshot station, and it's just going to be gorgeous. And I can't wait to bring a ton of women together to achieve all of their biggest dreams in 2019.
That is awesome. Well, we definitely can't wait to be there. We're so excited. I'm very excited. And I saw the place that you booked it at. It looks beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's kind of like a blank canvas. You can do anything with it.
Yes, it just better be a beautiful day because everything else is beautiful. We don't want it to rain, but
That's
we're
right.
lucky. That's why we live in Texas because it is mostly sunny on most days. All right, Hannah. So I have just a couple of questions for you. I want to know how you discovered that passion. I know you said, in your story with, a lot of mind thought and, you know, prayer and everything else that went into it. But what exactly were those steps how did you discover that passion that you wanted?
Yeah, well, so to give you a little background, my mom has always raised me to be very independent. And then when I was in college, I was part of it was kind of a unique sorority. It wasn't like your traditional sorority that you think of in your head. We put on women empowerment events before it became cool. Like there's this huge wave of everyone, it's the year of it's the decade of the woman right now, right? And it's so cool to watch and I love it. And we were doing this years ago and I just loved it. And so between my mom kind of coaching me to be extremely independent and then being part of this community and organization where we just coached women and empowered women and just went crazy together, we had such a great time. That instilled a lot of those values and passions in me, but I didn't actually realize that until later. And so it was in that soul searching 2018 moment. I had a lot of really great things going on for me. I had just gotten married. I had a really great job. I have a lot of great friends. I was getting heavily involved in the San Antonio community, and I felt like a lot of things were going right, but I still felt that one little area of void that I just couldn't quite get a grasp of. And really reading that book, I have an addiction to self-help books. I'm a huge fan. I read them all the time. I never get tired of them. I think you can always improve. And luckily, I picked up the right book at the right time. And then in addition to that, kind of simultaneously, I did pray a lot about it. My word for the year I decided in 2018 was seek, because I wanted to try to seek what was missing. And so I think it was just a topic that was on my mind constantly. It was weighing on me, and I was looking for it. And I was looking for it not only in the books I was reading, but in my prayer and my conversations with friends and family. And it just slowly started to surface that I needed to create something myself. And I do work in corporate America, which I actually absolutely love. So it was kind of unusual for me to go out on this creative limb and have this entrepreneurial spirit that I've never really had before. And so it just became really exciting. And so I don't know that I could say that I have found my passion, but I would definitely say that this is one of them. And I'm sure that soul searching is always going to continue, and I'm always going to find something new. But that's how this one came about. And then I reached out to friends who I really trusted and said, hey, I have this crazy idea. What do you think? And everyone was just all about it and fully supported me and the idea. And it really encouraged me to just do it. And so I did.
Yay! Yeah, it's awesome. Oh my goodness. And I can relate with you as far as having a mom that really just poured into you and helped you. That has totally been my mom and my rock as well. And
Yeah.
then just relating that something you always know when something is missing, like you just feel just called for more and that's it takes time to figure it out for sure, but then you're like one day you're like, oh, that's it. And then you do it and you realize that that void is not missing anymore. And you're like, I'm so glad I figured that out. Well, I'm so happy for you. We are super proud to be part of your community. So, in steps of figuring out your passion, how did it all just like come to life? Like, what were the steps of putting it all together?
So this is kind of funny. I talked to a group of girls a couple weeks ago, and they were college girls, and they asked me the same question, and they wanted to know the very specific steps, like what paperwork did you file? And I thought that was so funny, but people are really curious. And so as soon as I decided, okay, I want to create this community for women, but what do I want it to look like? I want it to have that really fun, bright San Antonio flair. but I also wanted it to be sophisticated and a little bit modern. And not that I want to exclude women, but I wanted women to know that anything that you expect from Fleur Femme is going to have that level of elevation. It's going to be nice. It's going to be really good quality. And so as I started thinking about what kind of woman would be attracted to this concept, I thought, okay, it's a woman that's success driven. And whether that success is motherhood, or that success is finishing a marathon, or that success is their day job, whatever it may be, that just the fact that they're driven towards something, driven toward being better, driven toward getting better. And the word that kept popping into my head was the word flourish. Like, women want to flourish. Women want to become the very best versions of themselves. But I hated the word flourish as an actual name for my business. So I started thinking and thinking, and because I do love San Antonio and its very Spanish culture, I started researching what flourish was in Spanish, and it is florecer. And I just absolutely loved the word. It's such a beautiful word. I also have an addiction to fresh flowers, and so I just thought, this is perfect. This just truly encompasses me and then everything that I want women to be. And so once I figured out the name Florecer Femme, I was like, okay, I need help. I don't know how to develop a logo. I don't know how to develop a website. I don't know how to do any of this. And so I sent out an SOS to all of my girlfriends, said, hey, who knows an amazing female graphic designer? And I ended up getting connected with one, and she and I worked together, and she was also passionate about this concept. And so she just created some really beautiful work, and she's the one who helped me put all of this together. The website turned out amazing. And so really I acknowledged what I don't know and what my weaknesses are, and I outsourced. I sought help in those areas, and so we were able to create this really great digital platform. But then also there's the business and paperwork side of the whole thing. I filed it as an LLC. It's not a nonprofit, and it's not because I want Florecer Femme. I don't want to profit off of it. I don't want to get rich off of it. It's nothing like that. I just don't want the restrictions that come with a nonprofit. And I didn't want, I just want Florecer Femme to be able to do what it wants to do and kind of morph whatever it's going to morph into. And so I wanted that flexibility, and I want it to be self-sustaining. And so I actually filed it as an LLC. My husband happens to be an attorney, so he helped me with all of the paperwork and established an operating agreement, started a bank account, created the whole thing. And so here we are, a fully functioning business. I've invested a lot of my personal money into it. Websites cost money, and having all of this beautiful graphics and all of this beautiful work and making something really beautiful is not cheap, especially when I don't have that talent. And so I have invested a lot of my personal money into it. And then basically Florecer Femme, all of the ticket sales just cover the cost of the event. And so anything that you're paying for is worth it. Everything that you're paying for is covering the cost for all of the qualities that you are going to receive for showing up. And so that's the general concept, and that's the hard work that has been put into it.
That's beautiful. Oh, you're truly just giving from your heart, and that's amazing. That's what I love. I love women like you, definitely. And I'm so happy for you. And I will be at Gold's for sure, her next event. I know we have a couple of other teammates, USANA sisters, that are joining us. So if you're interested in that, Hannah, why don't you tell them where they go to get their tickets and your Instagram page and all of that information?
Of course. So Florecer Femme is on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Florecer Femme. And I also have a website, florecerfemme.com. And as soon as you go to the website, there's a big pink banner at the top that says click here for tickets to Goals. And all of the details for the event are there. And whenever you attend Goals, you'll actually be greeted with a welcome bag that has a custom Goals guided journal and a pen. And we'll have a DJ, and it's just going to be such a fun, beautiful day. And so the tickets cost $100 right now, and so that ticket will get you, everything is included for the event. So you won't be paying for anything additional once you get there. It's all included in your ticket price. The only thing that's not included in the ticket price is actually we'll have some shirts for sale.
Yeah.
And it's such a cute, it's a workout top. And so it's a little workout tank and it says goals across the front. So it's going to help motivate you. You'll be looking good in your workout gear while you're trying to achieve those fitness goals for 2019.
Awesome. I will definitely grab one for those. I always need a good workout shirt,
Yeah.
especially with gold on top. That is awesome. So you've told us about golds. What does the future look for the community? Like what
Oh
is
man.
to come in 2019? If you can give us a sneak peek.
Well, I only know a little actually. So for Fleur Femme, I want it to flourish, really. I want the following to grow. I want the community to grow. And when I think long term, I want Fleur Femme to grow beyond San Antonio. I want women everywhere to be a part of it. Some people have asked me specifically what locations. I want all of Texas. I want it to go into Mexico. I really want it to grow in this kind of South Central area. So I would love to see that. And as far as what's on the dock for 2019, we'll have an event in May, and I haven't told hardly anybody about this, only a few people, but it's called Fit and Femme. And we're partnering with a company here in San Antonio called In Balance. And it's a fantastic workout studio led by women. These women know how to whip you into shape. They are high energy and motivating and just wonderful. They also do a lot of nutrition coaching. And the owner of this business, she is kind of a jack of all trades. She has her hand in a little bit of everything. She owns her business, which is booming. She now has 3 locations. She just had a baby. She bounced right back from baby and looks amazing. And she's one of the busiest people I know. And she's one of those people you just kind of look at her and you go, how does she do it all? And so we're actually going to sit down with her and we're going to have an interview with her and talk about how do you manage your fitness, your family, your career, your business that's booming. You also have your hand in all of these other fitness activities. She's involved with the city on their fitness and nutrition team. And it's just a woman who I admire, and we'll actually get to talk to her and interview her. And everyone's going to show up at the event in their workout gear. And as soon as we interview her about all of her fabulous things that she's working on, she's actually going to teach us a workout class. So we'll go straight from our little interview with her to a Pilaxing class. It's Pilates and kickboxing combined into one.
So neat. And that is so, I mean, Pilates is difficult. Have you ever tried it? It's like,
So it'll
but
be
it's such a great workout.
Yeah, the first hour will be the interview with her, and then the second hour will be the workout, and then after the workout there will be refreshments and time for people to kind of socialize and get to know each other.
That's so awesome. Well, yay. Thank you for getting that sneak peek into us.
Of course. And then I have a few more on the docket, but they are not, I don't have them framed up well enough to share them yet, but the Fit and Femme is for sure happening. And that one is going to be on Saturday, May 4th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. Is that Mother's Day weekend?
I don't know. Is it?
Or is it the next weekend? But that's perfect, like for moms to come out and get, refreshed and get a good workout.
Yeah. I should promote it to the moms.
Yes, definitely do that. You will. So I know you've been traveling all over the world, and what is that like? I know that I personally travel, I just came back from Europe, but what is it like just to be able to travel the world and experience different cultures and just everything that comes with travel?
I grew up in a really small town and I grew up out in the country, and I was just never exposed to this big, beautiful world. And I watched movies and saw people going and doing it. It was just something that I always wanted to do. I had a lot of siblings, and so my family couldn't really afford to go on trips. So it was one of those things that I knew that I wanted in life, but I just didn't know when I was going to be able to do it. And as soon as I started working, I just started saving. And people have their values and their priorities, and some people spend money on certain things, and some people spend it on others. And mine has just always been experiences. I've always loved to travel. My first flight wasn't until I was 18 years old, but I was thrilled to do it whenever I finally got to do it. And my husband, luckily, he's also really passionate about travel. And we just kind of pick a place that we've heard is amazing and we go. And fortunately, we both have very good jobs. And so we are able to financially afford things like this, which we're very blessed and happy about. And so over this last few years that we've been married, we've tried to do as much traveling as possible because we know that eventually we want to have kids and it might be a little more difficult then.
Only
But
for the first 2 years. After the first 2 years, they get adjusted to grandma and stuff, and you're still able to go on your trips for
yeah,
sure.
well, you're going to have to help me with it.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
how many countries have you been to?
oh my gosh, I don't know. I've done a lot of Europe. I've done Germany and Italy and Austria and Switzerland, and I've done Chile. I went to South America this last year. Um, Canada. I I haven't gone to the eastern part of the world, which is definitely on the list of places I want to go. And actually, in the summer, my husband and I will be going to Greece.
Yay, that's awesome. In the summer, we're going to be going to Dubai. For
Oh, that's amazing!
Yes, we're going to go there. And then Thailand is also on our list as well.
Wow.
So we're looking for, but I want to go to Chile, so I'll definitely pick your brain. And you should sit down and actually count how many countries
I know, I
you
really should.
have
I
been to.
have no idea.
There's 196 countries. I have a best friend that's actually trying to conquer that goal.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
at 100 countries right now.
that's
So definitely, it's a beautiful thing to be able to see the world and just a budget. I'm the same way with my husband. We kind of make our finances and budget, and one of our non-negotiables is like 2 trips together and 2 trips with the kids at least, bare minimum. That's like a non-negotiable with us.
oh,
So
I completely get it. It's just something that we love and that we care a lot about, and we like to experience other cultures and just witness the beauty of this earth. I mean, we only get one time here, so
that's right. Oh my goodness. I love it. And I can't wait to see where you go on your next country or place, wherever you might be. So I know you love wine. You shared that with me. And also, when we went to her last event, they had fruity drinks with a flower in them, which was really neat, and you felt fancy. But how did you? I know it's just more than just drinking wine. Obviously, you have a passion for the taste,
I
how
do.
it's made, all of that. So how did that come about with that?
Well, wine is just it's such a beautiful thing. I guess there's two parts of wine. There is the grape growing process and there's the wine making process. And I absolutely love both for different reasons. The grape growing process is viticulture, and I think the my love for that is really growing up on a ranch. I grew up on a small ranch, and so I was always outside. And when I get to go to a winery and be in a vineyard, it is just one of my absolute favorite things. It makes me kind of feel at home no matter which one I'm in. And I mean, those vines are so beautiful, and there's no two vineyards that are the same, which really means that no two wines are the same. And I think that's fascinating because you don't really get that in a lot of other things. And the actual winemaking process, well, that's all chemistry. And I happen to have a degree in chemistry. And so I'm very, very secretly nerdy. And I love that side of wine. I love the whole process of making wine. I've actually made a few batches.
Yay.
Terrible. I need to practice some more. But I just love the outdoor aspect of the vineyard, and I love the science of making the actual wine itself. And when I think of drinking a glass of wine, I just kind of have this vision of myself like out on a big patio at a vineyard and the sun shining on me, and it just makes me kind of think of happiness. And my husband, he enjoys wine too, and so it's kind of a hobby that we have together, and it's something that we always include in our travels too. Almost everywhere we go, we try to hit up a local winery or vineyard and explore it. And so it's been a personal passion, but it's also been a passion that I've been able to share with my husband.
That's
And
Awesome.
Yeah, and my love for chemistry and the outdoors, and it really has just made me one day to hope to be able to open my own winery. So that's a passion that I'm hoping I can dig into a little bit later in life, but it's definitely something I'd like to do.
That's awesome. I will definitely be at your vineyard for sure. I
You're
I love wine, and same thing when I travel. I love to try the different wines. When I was in Spain, the wine was very delicious. No matter where I went, they had fabulous wine. And I hear it's the same in Italy, and Italy is definitely on my bucket list for this year. um, when I was in Paris, the champagne was really good.
right.
That's what they were known for in there. But definitely share that passion of wine. I absolutely love it. It's always good to come home and just relax with a glass of wine and just refresh for the next day. So
Absolutely.
you mentioned that you would want to open up a vineyard. So what would be the place that you would dream of to open it up?
Part of me wants to open a vineyard in Mexico. I have this idea in my head that one day I'm gonna live in Mexico. I don't know.
Hey.
But I do, and apparently the wine country in the Cabo area and like Baja California is growing and doing really well. And so that's one idea that I have. But the other one that I think is probably more realistic is I've always thought that I would purchase my parents' small ranch that they have and turn their ranch into a vineyard and actually have a full functioning winery there. So that's my other thought, is to kind of turn my childhood and that fond memory that I have of my past, and one of the main reasons why I love wineries and vineyards in the first place, and just create it and make it a winery there at my home.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for that. That's awesome. You will accomplish that for sure. So, in closing, what is the one inspirational quote or story that you would like to share with our women today?
Yeah. So this is a question that a lot of people have asked me. I always have such a hard time answering it, but the one thing that I always circle back to, it's the one quote that I personally circle back to in my life anytime I'm stressed or I'm struggling or I'm lost or confused. I always look at Philippians 4:6, and that verse says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for what He has done for you." And I always go back to that and think, okay, there's a lot of things that are bigger and greater than I am, and so I just pray about it and think about it and try not to worry about it and put it in His hands. And so that is the one quote that and piece of advice really that I share with others.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you so much, Hannah, for coming on our guest speaker call. I'm looking forward to seeing you in February at Gold's. And of course, always looking forward to following your journey. And I just appreciate the time for you coming on and sharing with these amazing women. Thank you so
Absolutely. Thank you
much.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, yes. And everyone who's on the call, you can unmute yourself now and everybody say bye, Hannah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Thank you, guys.